And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cloud Yelling with Upset Tugboat. My new podcast. Well, it's not new, is it? Well, technically not new. Newish podcast. New to you podcast if you're just starting with us. Us being me. Okay, and today, we got a few things today. Uh, Not too much actually. I don't know. I couldn't really think of anything really. What's the word? Important. I don't know anything that was interesting. But this is kind of we're kind of at the end of the year anyway, so we'll just do like end of year stuff and like a bit of what's coming up and all that. So here we go. House of the Dragon season 3. 2026 release date and record breaking got year. Why is it record breaking? How many years has it been since the last season now? Like, must have been like 2 or 3 years? Because it's been a long time. How come things take like many years between seasons now? Used to be just like a couple of months or so, but or like a few months, but now I don't know what's going on. And the cost is going up too. Like, how come it's so expensive and so slow to make? Because like it's kind of lost its momentum now. Like if it, like how many people remember what happened in the last season of Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon? It's been like how many years now? Like, does anybody really care anymore? Well, probably they do, but I don't know. Uh, what am I trying to say here? I don't know. Anyway, HBO's House of the Dragon finally has confirmed release window, setting the stage for an impressive Game of Thrones franchise record. With multiple spin offs ongoing and in the works, HBO's fantasy franchise has yet to achieve the level of popularity it had before Game of Thrones ending in 2019. How popular was it by 2019? Like, that last season kind of really ruined the whole thing for a lot of people. Uh, 2026 looks like it could be the year. For what? For it coming back? Well, it should be coming back like in the preceding year that the last season ended. But we don't do that anymore for some reason. I guess we just, I don't know, lost the skill to do that or something. I don't know. Uh, this is the era of the franchise, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe showing the potential of long-term multimedia storytelling. Really? Because Marvel hasn't been doing that great either. After the insane, unprecedented phenomenon that was Game of Thrones, it is no wonder HBO wanted to capitalize on the title by developing more shows based on George R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire books. Capitalize? Like, again, but the season 8, it was really, really running out of steam. Like, that wasn't exactly a strike when the iron is hot kind of timing. Because what ended in 2019? When did the Dragon show start? It had to be about 22, 24. I don't know. I guess it gave a little bit of time for people to come to terms with the ending. But yeah, no, it was kind of a mess how it ended. House of the Dragon Season 3 is well underway, with production looking to wrap up in October 2025, so it should have already happened then. How old is this article? I didn't check. Maybe I should check next time. Everything we've heard about the new season points to this being one of the most immense epic seasons of television that's ever been made, fully embracing the stakes of the Dance of Dragons. Okay. It's recently been confirmed that House of the Dragon Season 3 is slated for June 2026 release. And while this is subject to change for delays, it's more than likely it will be out sometime that year. This is the second Game of Thrones franchise show being released in 2026, with a Night of the Seven Kingdoms in January, which we'll be getting up to next. 2026 will see the record for most GOT franchise episodes in a single year. Oh. Yeah, it's another thing. Like, all these seasons are like 5 or 6 episodes long. Well, is this one going to be like, what, 7 episodes long then? And even it ended on a cliffhanger too. I remember they're about to like start a battle, so I'm gonna guess that the beginning episode of season 3 should be the battle, like the big battle. House of the Dragon's long delays and shortened episode counts have been consistent source of criticism from fans, many of whom reminisce about the days of Game of Thrones' annual 10-episode schedule. 2026 will be a wonderful treat for those fans. What do you... Who is reminiscing about that? As, like, with all the criticisms of the show, I don't think the episode count was one of them. Or I guess, like everybody looking back fondly on it, I guess the episode count wasn't what they were looking at. So I don't know. Who wrote this? Where is this? Who wrote this? Screen Rant? Oh. Yeah, okay. Kind of explains a few things. Kind of explains a few things. Screen Rant isn't exactly the most accurate with their information. With House of the Dragon Season 3 and Night of the Seven Kingdoms both coming out in the same year, there will be 14 total episodes from the franchise. Oh wow, a whole whopping 14 episodes! Whoa! Being awfully generous, aren't you, HBO? Ooh. Man, I remember when they used to have 26 episodes. When shows used to have like 26 episodes in a season, but no. 14. Wow, how generous. Oh. Each House of the Dragon will continue to have 8 episodes. How is that the longest? What were they saying? This is record breaking with the most episodes in a season, but it has 8 episodes in a season. According, how they will have 8 episodes with a kotakotisk more what or Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I don't like it when they abbreviate it like that. More contained story, only having a 6-episode season, which should be more than enough time to adapt a novella, I guess. It's been a while since we heard much about any of the other Game of Thrones spin-offs in the works, but are there any? I haven't heard of any other sort of in the works or like actually being worked on. Spin-offs in the works, but the franchise should continue to expand in upcoming years if these titles find audiences. This is an exciting year, possibly the most exciting since Game of Thrones final season. What are you doing? No. Well, yeah, like I said, they're not great with their accuracy of their information. What they say? Spin-offs of works franchise can expand upon their audiences. This, yeah. Again, I haven't heard of anything about other spin-offs actually being worked on. I know they're like what's the word? I don't know if they've actually announced anything, but there's like they're speculative. Uh, I don't know what's the word. Like they're not actually like, and there's nothing actually in production that's sort of playing with ideas. So like that doesn't mean anything will ever come of it either. So I wouldn't I wouldn't exactly say that there are more coming when we're not even like at the stage of like they haven't even been probably haven't even been fully formed ideas yet. Being fully formed idea. Yes, that's you. That's what I said. Senior possible. Who was excited for the last season? I don't know who was excited for the last season. It sort of fell off pretty hard. Like Game of Thrones. But whatever. I mean, is that it? Yeah, looks like that's it. House of Dragon season 2 was divisive, but if season 3 and the new spin-off series can deliver high caliber television, audiences will be treated with the volume and quality they've been hoping for. Eh. The first season was pretty good, House of the Dragon. The second season was not. No, that was. There's a bit of slogginess to the second season. Kind of a lot of character. What do you call it? Not resets, but they're like abrupt changes for no particular reason. The characters and some characters just disappeared. What do people have to say about it? Mike says, "I'm looking forward to the new season of Haunted and the new spin-off. I also crave to see Robert Chabelin come alive on screen. I hope we get to see it with Gurm involved." Yeah, probably no. Uh, he's probably not going to get involved or not that involved. He's just like enjoying his money, not writing his book. Yeah. Ron says Hot is a great show, just as good as Got. I wouldn't say it was just as good. Not at the height of Game of Thrones. It's not as good as that. Like it's good in its like House of Dragon is good in its own right. Nah, I don't think I'd compare it to Game of Thrones like that. And Raven says, "I can't wait for the new season. It's been so long." Yes, it has been so long. Why is it taking so long? Stop taking so long. You have tons and tons of money. Use it in the right places. Stop shoving it in your pockets and running away. Make the art already. Jeez. Anyway, there's that. So, are we excited for the next season? I am, I guess. Like I said, it's been a long time, so the hype has kind of died down now. So, I'm sure once the next season is finally is released, maybe I'll think about possibly finding some time to maybe watch it. It's like there's so much other stuff now. Like the timing is just not on its side anymore. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I'm sure everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, there we go. And speaking of spin-off, don't fall. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms on from How to Geek. This is the site where they train you how to geek. Like they'll teach you how to like do the Vulcan salute and I don't know what else is a geeky thing. They train you in all the Star Trek captains and the it's yeah that yes that will do for the joke. Okay, by Keely Brooks, published October 19th, 2025. In just a few short months, George R. R. Martin fans will find themselves back in Westeros with HBO's new, highly anticipated series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The upcoming show marks the third installment set in the author's beloved. The upcoming show marks the third installment set in the installment set in the author. Installment set punctuation, people. The upcoming show marks the third installment set in the author's beloved land of fire and ice, following the mainline Game of Thrones series and its successor, House of the Dragon. So, will the new series bring more magic, dragons, and drama? Let's find out. Here is everything you need to know about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Okay, so this is everything that we need to know. What about the things we want to know? What are the things we would like to know? What are things that would be nice to know? What are the things that we don't want to know? Ooh. Or the things we shouldn't know? No. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms will serve as a prequel to the epic fantasy series Game of Thrones. While we will see some Baratheons, Targaryens, and Highborns scattered throughout, this narrative's sole focus is on its lowborn lead, Sir Duncan the Tall. Because he's tall, that's why they call him the Tall. And his friendship with a young squire. The prequel is in no way trying to compete with Game of Thrones, and that's why you should be thrilled about it. Well, I'm thrilled. Well, I'm all right. I'm interested. So I've been hearing a lot about it. Like this is about like the lower classes in the world. That's something I've always been interested in. I just want to know what do common people think about all the Game of Thronesing stuff happening. Like this is, I guess, focused on that. Based on George R. Martin's The Tales of Dunk and Egg series of novellas. This prequel is set about a century before the events of Game of Thrones, but well after the events of House of the Dragon, so it's a midquel, which is the new thing that they're saying now when they have a story that takes place between a prequel and the main story. It's the new gimmick. The Star Wars is doing that. They do that a lot. House of the Dragon. Events of House of the Dragon, and it's just over 50 years after the death of the last dragon. Oh, so there's going to be no dragons in this one. So what are the knights fighting then? Shouldn't knights fight dragons? We need more knights fighting dragons in shows. That'd be cool. So we're in an age where the Targaryens still sit on the Iron Throne, and the last dragon still lingers in living memory. What's the plot? I don't know. What is the plot? Whereas its predecessor shows focused heavily on Westeros' royalty and their salacious, often scandalous drama, excuse me. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms will pivot and bring us into the life and daily struggles of a more common character through a much lighter, more comedic tone. Alright, so it's not going to be as heavy, I guess. Yeah, that's because that's what light means. It means opposite of heavy. Good job, me. Our story centers on a lowborn hedge knight, a freelance knight, if you will, named Sir Duncan the Tall, the titular Dunk, played by Peter Clefairy of Bad Sisters, and never heard of it. When we meet him, his master, Sir Arlen of Pennytree, the regime's Danny Webb, again, I don't know, I never heard of it, has just died. Needing money, Dunk sets out to complete in the jousting tournaments as Ashford Meadow. I thought his name was Dunk. Who's Ashford Meadow? Oh, at Ashford Meadows. Yes, learn to read, me. Which sets certain events into motion with effects that will ripple out far and wide. It's at the tournament that Dunk meets the diminutive egg, Dexter Sol Ansel of the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. Never heard of it. No one's heard of it, apparently. A bald little boy with an enormous secret who is determined to be Dunk's squire. The secret is he was his father the whole time. While the series of novellas follow the unlikely duo as they traverse the Seven Kingdoms, experience trials and tribulations, powerful foes, and dangerous exploits, Season 1 will begin by following Dunk's adventures as he meets Egg and they attempt to enter the tournaments. However, much like the case with the late Heath Ledger's character in A Knight's Tale, Dunk lacks the proper name and resources to do so. Okay. Did I read this story? I don't know. It sounds like you're just telling me what's going to happen in the episode, not this. Where's the stuff that I need to know? At this year's New York Comic Con, Martin told audiences what inspired him to write something so vastly different from his previous works. Watching A Knight's Tale. Just said. One of the things that one of the critics said was, "Here is another fantasy, and we get to hear more about kings and lords and kings. Nobody ever writes about the common people, and that resonated with me," says Martin. I assume. Who's in Knights of Seven Kingdoms? Well, they just said that guy and that kid. Knight of Seven Kingdoms is co-created and executive produced by George R. Martin and Ira Parker, who also serves as showrunner. But are they in the show? That's what the title here says. As for who is starring, in addition to Clefairy and Sol Ansel, it's a beefy list. It's tacklesome Targaryens and Baratheons. Finn Bennett, True Detective, stars as Prince Aerion Bright Flame Targaryen. The Crown's Bertie Carvel as Crown Prince Baelor Breakspear Targaryen. Sam Spruill Fargo as Prince Mikir Targaryen. Outlanders, Henry Ashton as Daeron Targaryen, and Daniel Lings of the Gentleman as Sir Lionel Baratheon. Alright. Well, good. We need to know that. Other cast members, I don't care really. So I don't think we need to know this in the need to know part because there's going to be characters and people are going to play them. That's about all we need to know. What we know about the seasons and episodes. How long is this article? Should have picked a shorter one. Yeah. Running out of water already. Season 1 of A Knights of Seven Kingdoms will consist of 6 episodes. It's a short season, I know, but the real bummer is that the episodes are only 30 minutes long. Really? Wait, 6 episodes, 30, so what, 3 hours? So, like, it's just a movie. So why is this a show? Why not just a movie? I know, but the real bummer is they're only 30 minutes long. There's a good reason for that, though, according to the show creator, Ira Parker, it's because the prequel is based on a series of novellas. So? Why does that mean it has to be 30 minutes? What, to try to extend it? Like, extend the series running time, or... Because... Like, again, you could just make that a movie. Like, why... Like, if you don't have enough material for, like, a whole season, don't make it a season of only, like, a 3-hour season. I don't... When I heard that it was going to be 6 episodes and they wanted to do shorter half-hour episodes, I was like, great. That means we can do 1 novella a season. Well... Oh. Well, why... Well, I would like to know why it had to be a series. That means we can start the way that we're supposed to start and just follow Dunk in his journey into this world. We can be ground up, we can be slow, we can be intimate and just give people a little enjoyment, a little treat inside this world. Well, I assume, like, all these episodes are, like, connected together like one full story. Like, it's only 30 minutes long of each part of a story. Like a serial. Because, like, it's going to be a whole novel. Like, you don't go to, like... There's... like, one novella is, like, a full story, so... Again, I don't see a reason why this had to be a series. Unless they're just looking to... I don't know, squeeze as much money out of it as they can. Like, you get... I assume they're getting paid by the episode, like, however many millions of dollars per episode. Whereas, I guess a movie may not make as much, I guess. Well, I suppose, yeah, like, depending on where you would put that movie. Because if it goes to theaters, it would probably make more money than if it was on Netflix or HBO or whatever. But of course, with movies, like, you don't always, like, get all the profits. You have to split that with, like, the theater and with, like, all these other groups and stuff that want to take a piece of it. So I guess, like, doing a series is probably more cost effective for them. They can, like, squeeze out every penny. Right? If you're paying attention, you've just realized how many seasons we're likely to see, but only if viewership numbers are there for season 1. For those who don't know, there are 3 novellas in George R. R. Martin's Dunk and Egg series: The Hedge Knight, The Sworn Sword, and The Mystery Knight. Ooh, how mysterious. Okay. So they only have, like, 3 seasons. Which... Cause I hear that like this like the novella series isn't even finished either. Like Gold Martin doesn't really like to finish his series. So I don't know, maybe if they have like 3 seasons, if they only keep it at 3 seasons and they like find an ending for it, that'd probably work out much better than trying to like continue on without the books. Because we know how much of a disaster that was for Game of Thrones. Is there a trailer? Yeah, but we get copyrighted, so I can't. In conjunction with its 2025 New York Comic Con panel, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms released its first teaser trailer in October. As you can tell, the difference between it and Game of Thrones, also House of the Dragon, are vast. So let's explore those. All right. How A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms will differ from Game of Thrones. While there are many differences, the two major ones between the fantasy series and are pretty obvious. There will be hold your breath, no magic or dragons. I repeat, no magic or dragons. Why? Right, it's a fantasy series. Put some magic in there. Like you don't need a whole ton of magic, just like a bit to like keep the whimsy of it. Which I guess they don't want a whimsy. Maybe whimsy is the wrong word, but you know, like a slight, just this slight little small shade of whimsy. Like give this universe some personality. I know that's another bummer, but you have to remember this is a time in Westeros where no one is thinking about magic. So it's best to go ahead and get that expectation out of your system. Then what's the point of being a fantasy movie then? Or a fantasy story? Because like in fantasy, that's you have like the magic and the monsters and stuff. But if you don't have that, then it's not really a fantasy. It's like just historical, only done in a different universe. So what is making this world more exciting? Like it has to be more interesting than our own if it wants to be like a fantasy. There. Parker recently told Entertainment Weekly that the series is gritty medieval story that could basically be a 14th century Britain. Yeah, I just said that. Well, don't do that. Don't do like get creative. Like put some magic in there. A little bit is all you need. This is hard nose, grind it out. I thought it was supposed to be lighter than the Game of Thrones. Like I said earlier in this article that this is going to be lighter and funner, but now it's hard and gritty, hard nosed, gritted out, gritty medieval knights, pulled with a really light, helpful touch. Hopeful touch. Oh. It's a wonderful place to be. Not really. Back in those days was not really a wonderful time. Kind of like, well, it was probably wonderful if you were like a lord or whatever, but like for peasants, it was, yeah, you don't want to be a medieval peasant. We are ground up in the series. We are starting right at the bottom. We're not with the lords and ladies, the kings and queens. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm interested in that. Other differences viewers will notice start with the opening title sequence. There isn't one. Well, then how are we going to know what show we're watching? Instead, there's just a simple title card with medieval typography in between the beginning action of each episode. Oh, okay. That's how we'll know. Like once the show starts and like all the characters from that show are you see all the characters from that show, but you get confused because you didn't see a title, so you're wondering why are the characters of this show that I like watching is there, but then the title comes up and it's like, oh, because I'm watching this show that I like watching. Oh, so good. Uh, the fact that there's no sprawling visuals with orchestral accompaniment seems to reflect the type of person Dunk is. Plain, simple, and right to the point. Things our previous Martin adaptations were not. Okay. So I guess that's it. That's all we needed to know. Oh god, there's more. I'm not just that. Okay. Last paragraph. All right, we can get through this. Okay. The Knight of the Seven Kingdoms also won't have the massive scale that its predecessors did and do. Where Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon have been sweeping fantasy epics loaded with palace intrigue, this prequel is all about the heart with one focus. It's more of a snack-sized, character-driven story set in the same world as GOT. Martin called this series as faithful an adaptation as a reasonable man could hope for. You know what? I think we need more of that. Whenever you're trying to adapt some story, it should be like as faithful an adaptation as a reasonable man could hope for. That's what the Rings of Power should have been. But it wasn't. And it was terrible. And there's more seasons of that coming too. Because Amazon is stupid. Then further elaborated on his personal blog that there are no dragons this time around, no huge battles, no White Walkers. This is a character piece, and his focus is on duty and honor, on chivalry, and all it means. Alright. Release date, Night of Seven Kings premieres HBO Max on Sunday, January 18th. Oh, so pretty soon. 2026 at 10 p.m. ET. New episodes will debut weekly Sunday through February 22. Alright, so January 18th, that's only a few weeks away. Alright, are we excited about this one? Kind of. I'm interested. I saw the trailer, and yeah, looks like Game of Thrones. Yeah. I am interested so far. That's that's what I'm going to say about it. What do you think? Comment below. All right. There we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. The year is now coming to a close. So now it's time to reflect upon what has come before. And wait, no. And now it's time to anticipate what is going to happen next, is what I meant to say. Because this is the 20 most anticipated movies of 2026. So 20 movies that someone is most excited that Charles Papadopoulos is excited for. This is on MovieWeb. It's 2026 is set to be an enormous year for the box office, with several massive franchises, installments, and other individual blockbusters. 2 years after Christopher Nolan's Oscar win for Oppenheimer, the filmmaker is back with another massive ensemble epic, preparing his fan base from summer at the cinema. Isn't that crazy that nowadays that directors have fan bases? I know it used to be like celebrities and stuff, but now there's like directors. I guess some of them were back in the day, but nowadays it seems like there's more like fans of directors than of celebrities, of actors. Hey, where was I? Here's the cinema. DC follows up with the success of Superman with multiple new films. Can you really call that a success, really? Because it kind of was a financial flop. And it also was stupid. And it should not have been made. At least not with James Gunn. Success of Superman with multiple new films. And Marvel returns with its biggest titles, hoping to end its streak of mediocrity. Oh, I wouldn't call that mediocrity. That word is not harsh enough for what they were spewing out for the past decade or so. There are several other unique cinematic events to look forward to, such as Tom Cruise's return to dramatic film roles. Oh, he's going to do more drama than action. Alright, okay, I'm interested. Let's see what he's got. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's screen reunion. Again. And a long... What's that? Well, what movie is that? Doesn't say. And the long-awaited release of Coyote... Do you say Coyote or Coyote? Coyote versus Acme. A movie that was previously shelved by Warner Bros. Discovery. Aaron Sorkin has followed up to the social network on the way... shocking everyone in the film world, and the acclaimed TV series Peaky Blinders will wrap up with a Netflix original movie. All things considered, I'm looking forward to spending a solid portion of this year sitting in theaters. Well, good for you, Charles Papadopoulos. I am not, because I no longer have faith in the creators of today. Okay, The Rip. I've not heard of this. January 16th. See, that does not bode well, but it's coming out in January. Usually means that the studios have no faith in whatever it is that they bring out in January. If you know the meme from Red Letter Media. Excuse me. Yeah. Don't knock over the mic. Yeah. Anyway. If you're a fan of dad movies, particularly when they involve Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, then we have something in common. Well, I'm not, so we don't. The Rip isn't a movie I see making a massive cultural imprint or succeeding in any particular capacity. It's simply one for me. Well, that's kind of selfish of you to make like a whole movie just for yourself. A crime thriller starring Damon and Affleck is like a long-lost dream for a 2000s movie fan, and although I'm not expecting The Departed or even The Town levels of thriller excitement, I can guarantee I'll be watching the movie with a smile on my face on January 16. My one gripe is that I'll be forced to do so on my couch instead of in theaters. Well, take your couch to a theater then. There, problem solved. Coyote versus Acme. I've not heard of this. August 28th. And I didn't know they were still doing like cartoon movies. Oh, it's like a Roger Rabbit style where it's like cartoon and real life blended together. Hold on. If you've heard anything about this movie, it's likely related to the controversy surrounding Coyote versus Acme, a movie that was shelved by Warner Bros. Discovery after completion. The decision was made following the already harsh treatment of Batgirl, and it sparked an uproar on social media. Really? I must have missed that, because I never heard of this. Now the movie is finally on its way to being released, and while it's worthwhile to distribute it no matter what, it will be fascinating to gain perspective on the decision made by Boobd. This is one part childhood Looney Tunes appreciation and one part hoping it's a masterpiece, just to prove them wrong. I don't really care. Oh no, I'm not really a cartoon guy anymore. Disclosure Day. I saw the trailer for that in the Avatar 3. It looked really weird and not very interesting. June 12th. While I'll admit, don't spoil that yet. While I'll admit to being more of a Scorsese faction than a Spielberg side, do you need to pick a side? Really? Of the cinematic goat debate, I can appreciate greatness all around. In that sense, Steven Spielberg has defied expectations for much of the 21st century, exploring varied topics and largely ignoring the genre that made him the maestro science fiction. Like Scorsese's return to the mafia genre with The Irishman, which is not well received, I might add, the prospect of Steven Spielberg UFO movie in 2026 is an event in and of itself. To me, this is a sleeper for a massive box office hit. Well, let's see if the old dog still got it. So a lot of the old guys, they've kind of fallen off pretty hard in the olden, or they're in their old, or in their twilight days of twilight. Right here, they're not as good as they used to be, like with James Cameron and the guy who did Aliens. Like they're kind of not there anymore. So I guess we'll see how this does. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna see it because I'm not really into those kinds of movies. But whatever. Digger, October 2, with Tom Cruise as Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell in Top Gun Maverick. Alejandro G. Inarritu at the helm would be a reason to visit the movie theaters on its own, but in the main appeal for Judy will be Tom Cruise. The world's last movie star has spent the entirety of the 21st century jumping off buildings and running. Lots of running. But for those who have gone deeper into his filmography, titles like Magnolia and Rain Man prove that beneath the action star, there's one heck of an actor. Also, Tropic Thunder, probably his best role ever. Judy is intended to be his return to serious acting and following up on The Rock's dramatic outing with The Smashing Machine. I'll be interested to see if Cruise has the same box office sway as a non-Mission Impossible film. No, he doesn't. Not anymore. I don't think people will go to movies just to see Tom Cruise. I mean, I don't think that kind of audience is around anymore. Also, you said it's called Digger up here, but you're calling it Judy down here. What's going on with that? Get an editor. Clayface, September 11th. Alright. So it's like Joker, but this time with Clayface. Another Batman villain. Oh, and this one's done by James Gunn, so it's gonna suck. Clayface, September 11th. Ooh, that's could be an appropriate date for it. James Gunn's DCU has a fantastic start this year. No, it doesn't. Kind of had a really messy and, well, horrible start, actually. James Gunn's DCU, a certified DC guy. I'm probably more excited about the 2026 slate than anyone should be. You shouldn't be at all. I'll admit that Clayface has never been particularly compelling to me, nor am I that much of a body horror fan. However, I'm all for the prospect of the DCU exploring different cinematic styles and genres. So I'll be there, seated on day one, just to see if they can pull it off. Not to mention, this will be the first live-action depiction of DCU's Gotham. Who could say no to that? With the James Gunn's DCU, I guess. But I mean, Gotham has been depicted before, so if it's like the James Gunn verse, then I guess you could say that. But I don't know. I feel like this is going to be like another Morbius rather than a Joker, because there's James Gunn's at the helm of this one. I'm gonna guess right now. It's gonna be about a group of misfits who have to come together to save the world. Yeah. There's gonna be other characters in it. It's not gonna be about Clayface. I'm calling it now. What's it? The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, huh? I haven't heard of this. October 9th. What is this? I have not heard of this. I'll admit that I was late to the game with the Avatar Last Airbender, but after years of being recommended the series, I finally caught up, and I couldn't be more thrilled about the timing. Netflix's live-action series doesn't interest me much. Well, it's because it's awful. It shouldn't interest anyone. Probably worse than the movie. But the animated follow-up series seems like a fantastic idea. Reading the story of this film's production doesn't instill much positivity, but that won't stop me from hoping for the best until proven otherwise. I love the world of Avatar Last Airbender world, and I'll be excited to return to it. Yeah, you also kind of ruined it with Legend of Korra, so yeah, I've not heard anything about this. Is this going to be like a straight to DVD movie? Or I guess like a streaming movie? What's it about? Is it about the Legend of Aang? So is it about Aang himself? Or are the others going to return? Is it going to be a prequel? Or I don't know. Maybe I'll look that up after. Let's see. What's this? Werewolf. December 25th. I wonder what this is about. Nosferatu was an enjoyable gothic horror movie, but my main question throughout was, why isn't Robert Eggers writing original movies? A filmmaker of that talent shouldn't be doing remakes. I wouldn't exactly call that a remake. Maybe more like a reimagining. A filmmaker of that remakes. I'd already seen Nosferatu, and I'd read Dracula, so his adaptation could only impress me so much. The current premise for Werewolf is the following. Where's the following? In 13th century England, a mysterious creature stalks a foggy countryside. Ooh. Sorry. My coughing cut off a really awesome joke I was going to tell. Start again. In 13th century, a mysterious creature stalks the foggy countryside. Ooh, I wonder what that could be. Get it? Because it's called Werewolf. And it says something, a creature is stalking the countryside. And there's like a werewolf. See, that was the awesome joke that was cut off. Yeah. Wasn't that worth it? Yeah. Local folklore becomes a terrifying reality for the villagers. Okay. So every horror movie ever made ever? Okay. It might not sound like much, but the vague and mystical log line is enough to ensnare my interest. You are easily impressed, fella. This sounds like a true folklore horror movie, an original story with a wolf. The werewolf story is not really original. With a cold, dreary atmosphere ripe with authentic horror. I can't wait to be terrified of what Robert Eggers has in store. It's a werewolf. Okay. The Social Reckoning. October 9th, the sequel to The Social Network. Ooh. I assume. Uh, my first reaction to see that Aaron Sorkin was making a sequel to The Social Network wasn't particularly positive. The loss of David Fincher and the swap to Jerry Strong is mildly confusing, as great as Strong is, but this is still a Sorkin movie. Ceiling is a series Oscar candidate, and The Floor is a movie with great performance and sharp dialogue that mounts to an enjoyable hot mess. To me, that's a win-win. Okay. I guess this is like about the downfall of Facebook. Alright. Which I see. I saw the real story in real time of the downfall of Facebook. So I'm ready to see this. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I didn't see that movie. It did not look good. And it did not have good reviews. So I am not anticipating this movie. Frankly, I'm shocked that we're getting another 28 Days Later movie so quickly. While the ending of 28 Years Later was undoubtedly controversial and relied on a particularly British pop culture reference, I honestly enjoyed the experience of a bizarre, confusing finish. But if Alex Garland says the show must go on, then so be it. I'll be ready for the charming Ralph Fiennes and the supposed return of Cillian Murphy. I don't really care, so okay, there you go. For all the 28 Years Later fans, all four of you. Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, March 6th. Speaking of Return of Cillian Murphy. Excuse me. The Immortal Man is a movie I've been pretty patiently waiting for. I'm somewhat confused by the movie's cast that lacks of cast members from the TV series. Well, aren't most of them dead? I assume it's that kind of series where like it has characters that die and are introduced and die and all that, like Sopranos and those other kinds. But when Tommy Shelby says, "Watch this movie," I watched this movie. Similar to, well, did he say I watched this movie? Did the character Tommy Shelby reach through the screen, grab you by the neck, and say, "Watch this movie"? Because if not, then I think you're good. I don't think you need to. Similar to 20 Years Later, I actually really loved the ending of Peaky Blinders as a TV series, and I'm hoping the conclusive movie won't detract from that. Also, if it's going to end with a movie, there better be a theatrical release. Meh. And The Bride, March 6th. After being slightly underwhelmed by Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, I'm hoping. Oh, is this supposed to be like Bride of Frankenstein? I'm hoping Maggie Gyllenhaal's more irregular, ambitious approach to the Mary Shelley's novel will offer a bit more flavor. Jessie Buckley, likely around the time of her first Oscar win for Hamnet. The Christian Bale make for an excellent duo, and the original Bride of Frankenstein is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I'm on board with this one. There's also an aspect of morbid curiosity at play here, as apparently the movie performed terribly with test screenings earlier this year. Oh good, that means it's going to be great. I guess. So yeah, there you go. The Bride of Frankenstein, March 6th. We're almost done here. Narnia, another Narnia movie? The Magical Nephew. What did the last Narnia movie do? How well did the last Narnia movie do? Because there hasn't been a Narnia movie for ages. Uh, Greta Gerwig's first movie after Bride has seemed like a strange choice since it was first announced. But that's almost why it intrigues me so much, given the decision to begin her new Narnia series with the magician's nephew, the never before adapted novel that comes later in the series but earlier in its chronology than Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, so it's a prequel. The Oscar nominated film is opening the portal to Narnia with it's already Oscar nominated? I thought it hasn't come out yet. It's supposed to be in 2026. Well, I guess it doesn't need to come out yet to be Oscar nominated because they've already the bribes have changed hands already, so there you go. And the opening portal to Narnia, familiar, exciting ground. I personally can't wait to see how she depicts the euphorically dreamlike quality to Lewis's writing that she once referred to. Sunrise on the Reaping. Second, I'm gonna make sure that I'm still alive. I am still alive. Okay. Okay. Sunrise on the Reaping. I never had. I don't really care. Wait. What is that? Probably won't be my favorite movie of the year by any means, but that won't stop it from being a fun theater experience. While I'm only a casual fan of the Hunger Games franchise, there's something exciting about seeing the new actors take on younger versions of previously established action. I'm already bored. I'm bored of Hunger Games. I was slightly intrigued when I looked at this picture because it kind of looked like something from like an old 70s sci-fi movie. But no, it turns out it's just Hunger Games. Okay. Mandalorian and Grogu. Okay, may as well do this. Uh, yeah, need to still keep squeezing as much money as we can out of that franchise. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. Where does one even begin talking about the last decade of this franchise? You don't. You don't begin at all. You just let's kind of why don't we just skip over it? After Disney's tremendous win with The Force Awakens, would you call it a win, really? More, I say it's more like a speculative. What's the word? Tentative, anticipatory state. What does that mean? I don't know. Whatever. Tremendous. It's not. It was no tremendous win. The legendary film series has been an entirely confusing mixed bag, lacking any apparent direction. The Mandalorian is far from my favorite Star Wars project, but I'm looking forward to seeing it if it can be developed further. No, it can't. With a cinematic budget, tying Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's plans for a sci-fi franchise together in an epic fashion, possibly rejuvenating hope for the series. I doubt it. I think it's kind of run its course. Like it had a really good first season, but then the executives got their hands on it and just mangled it horribly. Because like, if you don't know what the story or the story about the series is, that they wanted to make a Boba Fett show for years, but the executives just had no faith in it. And so when I guess Favreau, I guess he made the Mandalorian, I don't know, whoever made the Mandalorian, they sort of made it, and then because Disney had no faith, all the executives stayed away from it, so they just let it go and assumed it would die out in the deserts of the Disney Plus. But instead, it got really popular, and so for the second series or second season, that's when the executives turned their attention to it. They started like tearing it up and mangling and just injecting it with weird things and beating its carcass. Yeah, it got really bad after the first season. It's not like, even though it's not even like the first season was really that great, but it was decent. It was good enough to be entertaining, but then it got torn apart, and that's sad because they could have just left it alone and maybe it could have became something, could have became its own thing. I don't know, something that could stand up on its own two legs, but whatever. Here we are. Supergirl, June 26th. Yeah, this is the thing that's coming out. Another James Gunn movie about a group of misfits come together to save the world. Whatever. While I'll admit to some reluctant following the first trailer for Supergirl, primarily due to how much I love the Woman of Tomorrow comic, I'm still holding out hope for this movie. If Millie Alcock's cameo in Superman taught us anything, it's that she's perfect for this character. No, that's no. What are you talking about? Like, like that character was not Supergirl. That was James Gunn's take on what Supergirl, or what he wants Supergirl to be. Not it. But I mean, like, I guess Millie Alcock is fine, is a fine choice for the role to depict Supergirl, but like she has the look for it. But the character, like James Gunn is going to be the problem here. He's going to want to have the character be much different from what she actually is for his movie. Um, and that's generally the key ingredient for a solo superhero movie. I'd love to see more of the comic's vibrant cosmic art style and imaginative take on the science fiction genre, but I'm ready to judge the movie's vibe after a couple of minutes of early footage. Yeah, I saw the trailer, and yeah, you know exactly what the movie's going to be. It's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy again. I mean, I'm tired of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's okay. Oh, the Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Okay, I am anticipating this one, especially after the last movie. I want to see where they're gonna go with this, and I hope they're not gonna just do a big reset. All right, where am I? The continuation of Tom Holland's solo Spider-Man series is one of Marvel's biggest projects in years, and a rare multiverse saga installment that will actually be continuing stories, not just establishing new ones. Finally, seeing the Hulk return in full capacity after years. Does anybody really care about the Hulk? And bringing the Punisher to the big screen for the first time. See, yeah, are two enormous achievements, but it can't be understated how integral it is for Marvel to explore a continued storyline, bringing fresh developments to characters who have been around for years. People care about Peter, MJ, and Ned, and that emotional core will find many of the boxes left unchecked by last year's Fantastic Four. Yeah, the Punisher. I don't know if that one's got, like, the Netflix Punisher is supposed to be in this movie. I don't think that's gonna mesh very well with the MCU. Like, they are kind of different shades. Like, the Punisher is far, far more dark. I don't know if that's gonna work in Like he can't really be the same character in Spider-Man that he is in his series or the Daredevil series, the Netflix Daredevil series. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I like Spider-Man. I like the Spider-Man, the Disney Spider-Man movies. I like the Disney Spider-Man movies. Don't ask me why, but yeah, I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. What happened to his costume? I remember at like the very end of No Way Home, like he was in his actual proper costume, but now they have him in some, I don't know, some, what do you call it, millennialized version of it. Or no, it would be zoomerized version, where it's like black instead of blue because he's edgy. Bleh. Now I want to see that costume from the end of No Way Home. That was a really cool costume. All right, Project Hail Mary. Oh yeah, yeah. I saw some trailers for this in the Avatar movie. Looks boring. Like the premise is interesting, but would it work for a movie? Like I feel that would make a boring movie. Like it'd probably make a good short story, but as a movie, I don't know. Project Hail Mary is a 2026 movie being billed as the next The Martian. Oh, well, there's your answer then. Yes, yes, it will be a boring movie. That I'm concerned might end up as the next The Fall Guy. What's wrong with The Fall Guy? It's not that I think the movie is going to be bad. I'm very much looking forward to what Phil Lord and Chris Miller have cooking, and Andy Weir's source material is difficult to say no to. I am, however, concerned that this title won't be standalone sci-fi hit that brings audiences to the movie theater. No, it won't. In March. That said, the box office isn't sole measure of film success, and I'm sure looking forward to catching this one regardless. Yeah, no, I guess like mainstream doesn't really care about sci-fi concepts because that is it's an interesting concept that I would look forward to seeing a abridged version of. But no, I don't really I don't really care to see a movie about it. Maybe there's like a 15-minute video surmising all of it that I would watch. And Avengers Doomsday. Ooh. This is probably the most anticipated movie. The hype is really starting to build up. I'm seeing where's what, no picture? Anticipation for Avengers Doomsday is building up, with the only possible outcome for the project seem to be the next Endgame or an epic mess. Yeah, it seems to be getting up there. I don't know if it's exactly the same as Endgame, the anticipation for Endgame, but it's getting up there. Marvel Studios not only has a challenge of trying numerous neglected plot threads together, Shang-Chi, Namor, Hawkeye, etc., but also bring back numerous legacy characters and connecting all of it to Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. If the previous few years have spent time establishing a cohesive narrative, this would be a much more exciting prospect. But it's still possible this could be a dream scenario for all superhero lovers, given that talent and scope involved. Eh. I don't know. I haven't really heard a thing about it other than just what cameos are going to be in there. Yeah, I I guess I'll see it. Well, I'm waiting for more. Maybe they'll show something that will get me excited eventually. Maybe, but still, this is like Disney Marvel, so it's whatever they end up with is probably going to be very bad. Dune Part 3. how many more do we have here? Do part 3. It's starting to fade. Well, not yet, but okay. Dune Part 3 will likely be demolished by Avengers Doomsday at the box office. Yeah, most likely. That's why did you do that? Why are you putting it at the same time as Doomsday? I don't know why. But for the insane people like me who would love to spend 7 hours in a theater watching back-to-back blockbusters with every actor in Hollywood in them, this is a more exciting. Dune Messiah is a phenomenal novel, and it lacks the Hollywood in theme. It lacks the grandeur of the first book. I cannot read. I believe audiences who love the second film will experience something both unexpected and fulfilling in the third installment, with a blockbuster epic that provides entertainment and illicit thoughts. Yeah, I saw the first 2 Dunes, and yeah, they're okay. Yeah, so I guess this might also be okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Odyssey. I don't have any more. I think that's it. Okay. After Oppenheimer's 1 billion box office achievement and award success, audiences are now on the Christopher Nolan train, with more hype than ever. The only way to get more epic than Oppenheimer is to return to the story that at the core of all epics, the ancient Greek literature of the Odyssey. This becomes the movie of the year, as many expected to be. Christopher Nolan will be embarking on his own historical odyssey, making a run for the title of Hollywood's GOAT blockbuster filmmaker. Well, good for him. Again, yeah, I saw the trailer. Okay, I'm not really excited. I suppose I'll have to. I'll have to do a review of it anyway. Well, we'll see. I'm not exactly excited. We'll see when it comes out. Yeah, that's 20 of the most anticipated movies of 2026. What are you most anticipating? Yeah, what are you anticipating? What are you hoping for? What comment below. Like and subscribe. All right, there we go. There we go. Oh, and as so for this too, we have top 10 most anticipated video games of 2026. 2026 Chronicles. This is on Men's Journal, so it's a journal for men's. Yeah, for all the men's out there, this is a journal for you. And yeah, this is anticipated. What's this? Key points: 2026 features highly anticipated games, Marvel's Wolverine. Well, don't spoil the list already. From indie smash hits to like Claire Obscura, Suspicion 33, Hollow Knight, Silk Song, QJ releases like Don't Have Bonanza, Ghost of Neil's Eye, seems had the best deal very recent memory. Now the dudes test and jam packed year to be number 10. Marvel's Wolverine. Wolverine has been confirmed to be in development for years, and just earlier in 2025, we finally got a first look at gameplay. The title is being developed by Marvel's Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 developer Insomniac. The first Spider-Man was good, the second was not, so. This game's as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Well, stop it. PlayStation 5 exclusive title, at least until almost inevitable PC port, of course. Of course, everything has to go to PC. With Insomniac Games' solid track record for superhero game, I wouldn't call it solid. They had some good ones. They had some bad ones. I wouldn't say solid. So I would say this is more like a coin toss. For superhero games and the beloved Ratchet and Clank series, again, that was more of a coin toss series. Wolverine is likely in great hands, more like a coin toss hands. Marvel's Wolverine is slated for late 2026 release for PlayStation 5, if you have one. Because are they still rare, or has everybody got one now? Yeah. Number 9, Pragmata. Developed by renowned Resident Evil and Devil May Cry developer Capcom. Didn't they like go under or like change or something, or was that Konami? Like they went back to doing like Plinko machines. Maybe that was Konami. Capcom. Pragmata is an action adventure sci-fi game in which players control a pair of characters. Spacefarer Hugh and Android Diana. How many games like that do we have already? Like, is that going to be a new thing now? Like, well, we got like the It Takes Two, the Split Fiction, the other one about the cop and robber game. There's like so many of these now. Is this going to be like a thing? And also with like Little Nightmares 3. Like what? They think people have friends nowadays? Alright. Featuring third-person shooting and puzzle mechanics, players must guide Hugh and Diana on their quest to return to Earth. A free demo for Pragmata is available now on Steam. If players want to try the game out, Pragmata release on April 24, 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series A, PC, Nintendo Switch 2. There you go. Number 8, Avatar Legends, the fighting game. For which Avatar? Is it like the Karate Avatar, or the Blue Man Group Avatar? Avatar Legends, the fighting game, is a 2D fighting game based on the popular Nickelodeon series Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, okay, so the karate one. Featuring fan favorite characters such as Aang, Zuko, Toph, Katara, Azula, and several more. The game is set to make its mark on the fighting game scene sometime in 2026. Way to strike while the iron is hot for the Avatar universe, or not universe, for like the yeah. Or are we now getting into the what is it, the nostalgia era for Avatar? Has it been 20 years already? The game recently had a closed alpha test and showed the game as a serious fighting game, full of long combos, movement options, and mechanical depth. Avatar Legends, the fighting game working title, is scheduled for release sometime in 2026. So, yeah, kind of weird to call it like Avatar, the fighting game. So I assume that title is going to change. So yeah, but there you go. Summer 2026. Number 7, Marvel Token Fighting Souls. 2026 appears to be a big year for fighting games, as yet another big IP is setting turn into a fighter. Marvel Token Fighting Soul. I never heard of Marvel Token. Wasn't that changing? Don't make that joke. Is a 4v4 team-based game in which players can make their own teams of iconic Marvel characters like Spider-Man, Storm, Go. Oh, so it is like a Marvel, not like some. Not like Marvel Token was like some kind of, I don't know, its own thing, but no, it's like its actual Marvel, like Disney Marvel. There. So Storm, Ghost Rider, several others, and fighting players online or offline. All right. So what did Marvel Rivals this on taking its downturn? So they need to do like another mobile fighting game thing. My throat. The game's being developed by Arc System Works, best known for Guilty Gear series, Dragon Ball Z fighter game, Marvel Token has two closed betas so far, but despite that, the game does not have specific changes released in the game as part of you. I don't know, you're kind of putting me to sleep so far. So, let's see, The Legend of Heroes: Trials Beyond the Horizon. I've never heard of this. The latest entry in a long-range JRPG. I'm already bored. Series is finally coming back to North America in just a few weeks. 2025 saw the release of Trials of Daybreak 2 and Trials of Sky First Chapter, the latter of which are a remake of the very first Trials game. Oh, good for it. Number 5, Duskblood. So is there nothing on here that I've heard of? This is supposed to be the anticipated games of 2026. Like, so far, there's like a whole load of, well, nah, yeah, it's kind of nothing. I'm going to say nothing. It's a whole load of nothing. Like, it's just, there's, what? Who is anticipating these? So maybe the Avatar game. Maybe. Other than that, like, just, has anyone heard of these? From Software's next big game at the Duskbloods, a PvP PvE multiplayer game exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2. Fans of Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne will likely be interested in checking this game out as it begins, directed by Dark Souls and Elden Ring director Hidetaka Miyazaki. Okay. Alright, so it's a Blood Souls like game then. So okay, I can see someone anticipating it because those are very popular. The Duskbloods is scheduled for release sometime in 2026, exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2. Alright. Number 4, 007 First Light. Okay, that's one that I have heard of. 007 First Light is being created by iOS. Hold on. Maybe I have to end early today and whatever. First Light, developer behind Hitman series, the game is set featured the youngest James Bond ever portrayed in media, with a 26-year-old Bond attempting to earn his 00 status. Bond is being portrayed by Patrick Gibson. Was he like a commander in the British Navy, like before he became a spy? Like, you're not going to be a commander at 26 years old. But now he becomes a spy at 26. Yeah, nah. I think that's just like an excuse to get like the hip new Zoomer in there to be the main character for the Zoomer audience. Not even the millennial audience anymore, because the millennials are now the boomers. So now it's the Zoomers. But eventually, it'll be the Zoomers' turn to be the boomers. And then what are you going to do? What am I talking about? 007 First Light suffered a recent delay, with IO Interactive citing a need for more time for polishing the game before release. Hopefully the game's delay is well worth it when 007 First Light releases on May 27th for 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC, Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, they say for polishing, but I don't think... I don't know. Most games today come out very unpolished, even though they've supposedly have been polished. Or I don't know, maybe this... Maybe they really are polishing it. Maybe it will be... Well, I hope so. I hope it'll be, like, bug-free and playable. Because you know what? They don't do that anymore, usually. Nowadays, like, all the AAAs, they just sort of slap something together and throw it out there and patch it up later on the fly. While they make money with the loot boxes and microtransactions and all that. So, I don't know, maybe Maybe they are going to. Maybe they're going to polish it up as best they can. You know what? Fine. You know what? I'll give it that. I'll give him a like a little thumbs up for the polishing rather than just throwing it out and making whatever money they can. I hope they're not going to have microtransactions and stuff like that on there. I hope that's not what they're actually doing. That they're sort of crowbarring in a storefront with microtransactions and all that stuff. And number 3, Phantom Blade Zero. It's another JRPG, isn't it? Phantom Blade Zero is an actual action role-playing game featuring skill trees, a semi-open world, and multiple endings. Players will control Soul, an assassin in high-speed combat, with the possible oversaturation of Souls-like. It seems to be action fans maybe... Oh, I think I heard of this. Because there's no pictures associated with these names, but I think I saw this like maybe at not the E3 or the Game Awards. No, a while back. There's like a samurai guy who was like fighting these ghost guys, and that looked pretty cool. With the possibility of also Souls-like games, traditional action games in some vein as Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of. Phantom Blade Zero is set for release September 9th, 2026, exclusively for PlayStation 5 and eventually PC. Right, number 2, Resident Evil Requiem. So the Resident Evil is going to a Requiem. Resident Evil Requiem wasn't it a movie? Wasn't one of the Resident Evil movies called Requiem? Yeah, probably. It's one of those buzzwords for sequels like The Rise of, or yeah. Resident Evil next mainline installment in the long-running survival horror franchise featuring dual protagonists, newcomer Grace Ashcroft, daughter of re-outbreaks Alyssa Ashcroft, and fan favorite Leon Kennedy with his iconic hat. The game will feature a mix of horror and intense action. A recent developer interview with the game's producer, Masato Kumazawa, revealed there are multiple meanings behind the word Requiem. No, there's only one. The word only has one meaning. In the game's title, as well as the recommendation to play Grace's sections in first person and Leon's sections in third person. Okay, and that's goodbye. With the entire game built around 2 different camera perspectives and the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil series looming, Resident Evil Requiem may prove itself to be one of the most ambitious horror games ever made. Resident Evil Requiem will release February 27, 2026, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Nintendo Switch 2. There you go. So look for that, Resident Evil fans. A Requiem for the Resident Evil. And of course, number 1, I think, is to no one's surprises, Grand Theft Auto 6. Most anticipated for 2026, and will be the most anticipated for 2027, and possibly 2028. Grand Theft Auto 6 may be one of the most anticipated pieces of media in history, featuring dual protagonists and romantic couple Jason and Lucia in the leading roles. The game is returning to Vice City, which is based on the real-life city of Miami, Florida. GTA 6 was recently delayed yet again, but with the game's trailer being the most viewed in history on YouTube, the excitement for the game is astronomically high. Grand Theft Auto 6, assuming it does not get delayed again, will be released on November 19th, 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, PC version. A PC version has not yet been confirmed. Ooh, that's interesting. So usually they come to PC eventually. And so there you go. That's 10 most anticipated video games. What is your most anticipated video game? Comment below. I don't know. Let's see. What am I excited for? Maybe Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm not really a Resident Evil guy, not really a James Bond guy, not a Blood Souls guy. Legend of Heroes, never heard it. Token Fighter, working title, Avatar, never heard of that, never heard of it. I'm not really anticipating anything. I guess at best the Grand Theft Auto 6. So I guess that I'm excited for. Well, I wouldn't say excited because I don't think I'm gonna play it, or at least not really. Not unless it like comes to Steam and is on discount. Then maybe I'd buy it at a decent discount. Maybe I'd buy it, or if it's like free on Epic Games or something. And yeah. Well, there you go. All right. And lastly, for today, IMDb's list of the 40 worst movies of 2025. It says the New Year's is fast approaching. It's time to look back at what we didn't like of last year and say good riddance to it or something. I don't know. It's late. Okay, here we go. Number 40, War of the Worlds from Ice-T. A colossal invasion of Earth is coming, and its off-kilter take on the legendary novel of the same name, filled with present-day themes of technology, surveillance, and privacy. No, Ice Cube, not Ice-T. Why did I say Ice-T? Who is Ice-T? No, Ice-T is the SVU guy, isn't he? Ice Cube is a singer? Whatever. A rapper? A rap man? Yeah, I heard this is really, really bad. I never saw it, but I hear it's like funny bad. 40, Tyler Perry's Duplicity. Highly powered attorney Marley faces the most personal confidence, but she is tasked with uncovering the truth behind the shooting of her best friend's Fila's husband. Huh. I'm sure it's more boring than that sounds. Yeah, Tyler Perry is not known for making great films. So Jester 2, never heard of this. When teen magician Max crosses path with a sinister jester on Halloween night, she must outsmart the supernatural killer whose magic is too real and whose tricks always end up in blood. Alright, so another immortal clown creature that has ironic kills or something. The Strangers Chapter 2. I never seen Chapter 1, so... Left stranded in small town with no way out, Maya must once again face a night of terror, courtesy of the 3 deadly killers whose rampage she must put to an end. Sounds boring. The Running Man. Okay, I've heard of this one. I heard this was just awful. I heard that one was supposed to be more like the books rather than the remake of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, which apparently was a mistake. Which is not... It's not... Like, books don't usually translate that well to movies. Not usually. That's why you kind of have to do a bit of creative retooling to sort of make it more accessible, is that the right word, to an audience, like a audience who's watching it in a seat, as opposed to reading it and like reading like a chapter every night or something like that. The twist: 2 orphans join forces with family magical animals to save their city from powerful Mr. and Mrs. Twit, the meanest, smelliest, nastiest people in the world. Never heard of it. Does not look good one battle after another. I heard that one was bad. Yeah, that was in theaters, wasn't it? Or were they all in theaters? When their evil enemy resurfaces after 16 years. I'm bored of it already. Black Phone 2. Yeah, I heard that was just the Black Phone 1, but more of it. Like it's a kind of the story ended, but they kept going anyway kind of story from the first one. Tron Ares. Okay, I heard of this. This was probably the dumbest what would you call it? Type of dumbest way to do a sequel. High speed program racing the yeah. Just too bad because the very first trailer looked pretty good, but all the subsequent trailers to it just lowered and lowered the hype even more. 31 Straw, never heard of it. The Long Walk, heard of it. What is that one? A group of teenage boys compete in an annual contest known as the Long Walk, in which they must maintain a certain walking speed or get shot. Why would you compete in that? Unless it isn't actually voluntary. Like, why? Or is this like one of those last man standing kind of games? But why would, I don't know, like, why would anyone like choose to compete in like a death game? Like they say for like, maybe for money, but like, what good is money if you're dead? You are, Christine, what's that? I have an incredible career, Christine Martin. Oh, biopic. Those are usually very bad. Reds. Oh, yeah. Heard rumblings about old Red Sonja, like they were going to do a movie. It did come out this year, didn't it? Captain and forced to fight for survival, Red Sonja must rely on an army of outcasts to reclaim her freedom and take down a tyrant and his ruthless bride. Huh. So yeah, Red Sonja is supposed to be like a in the Conan the Barbarian universe. Oh, okay, I gotta. Will end soon. And apparently it was really bad because a lot of these I didn't see, and that was by choice because none of these are very appealing or seemed appealing. It looks like I was right to avoid them. Wicked for Good. Yes, I heard about this one. The first one made like $1 billion because it was like a very popular stage play. So naturally, they want to make a movie out of it. Elphaba, the future Wicked Witch of the West, in her relationship with Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, second of a two-part feature film adaptation of the Broadway musical. Yes, I did hear about this. I hear that this one was supposed to take place concurrently with the Wizard of Oz, and it's sort of like a alternate perspective, like of the witch, like what she was supposed to be thinking and doing while the Wizard of Oz was going on, and how though the characters were actually evil and bad people, and this evil wicked witch was the good people, and that wanted to kill that wanted to kill a little girl and a dog, and a living scarecrow and a robot, and an anthropomorphic lion. 25 fixed for Superman. That one, okay. I would probably put this a lot higher. Well, I guess this is not my list. Maybe I should do my own list. Yeah. But yeah, no, this one was very disappointingly bad. Probably the worst kind of bad. It's like this, there hasn't been like a proper Superman movie in years. This is supposed to be like a comeback, like a I don't know what you call it, but kind of movie to like start a franchise and just like what were they saying? They were like they want to like bring back hope, a more hopeful Superman, but then they didn't do it. This is just well, Superman must reconcile his alien Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. As reporter Clark Kent, as the embodiment of truth, justice, and the human way, he soon finds himself in the world that views these as old-fashioned. Ugh. I didn't really get that from the movie, though. That's why I'd say this was disappointingly bad because it also wasn't about Superman either. It was about like this other team and yeah, no, it was a very bad start to what they want to be a new universe. And also the truth, justice, and the human way, like that just ugh. The way that sounds is just awful. Like, there's nothing wrong with just saying with truth and justice. So no, they don't want to put like American way in the thing anymore because stuff. But the what they added just does not work. It doesn't fit. It's like they glued all over top just like a piece of cardboard paper that said the human way over where it says American and just like it's noticeably wrong. It looks wrong and not supposed like it's supposed to be there. It's about like the old Fleischer cartoons. They just had him saying this never-ending battle for truth and justice. Like you could just say that. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to like tack on this other stuff that doesn't fit. That just sounds wrong. What else I got? Elio, never heard of it. Opus, never heard of it. Hurry Up Tomorrow, never heard of it. Until Dawn, I think I heard of it. Was that a Netflix movie? Group of friends trapped in a time loop where mysterious foes chase and kill them in gruesome ways must survive until dawn to escape it. I think it was like a Netflix movie. I don't know. Predator Badlands. Yeah, that was a incredibly bad movie. Like you didn't have to see it to know how bad it was. Like everybody was making videos on just how terrible this thing was. Young Predator outcast from his clan finds an unlucky ally on his journey to search for the ultimate adversary. Yeah, it's one of those things where the predator learns not to be a predator. Like he learns how to not kill, which is dumb because this is supposed to be predator. Oh, and also they had this whole thing about they're saying like it's officially the most profitable predator movie ever, not counting for inflation. And like it because it made what like 100 maybe or what did it make like a couple 100 million, and they're claiming that's the most money it ever made ever, which it's not. Actually, the highest grossing Predator film is the first Predator, but because they deliberately ignored inflation, so they wanted to find something positive to say about it because they knew this movie was terrible and they're trying to sell it. Okay. Don't keep that. The Alto Knights, never heard of it. Sneaks, never heard of it. Dreamboat, never heard of it. Minecraft movie, yeah, that was another disappointingly bad movie. Because this one, like the premise, I can see like the story that they should have been making, but they just didn't do it. I didn't even hate Jack Black in the movie. Actually, I thought he did like a pretty good job in the movie. Because like he is like this movie is like a kids movie meant for kids, and he is a good kid movie actor. Like him and Jim Carrey, like they're very expressive and exaggerative with their movements. That's very good for like a in a kids movie because kids like that kind of stuff. And yeah, but story wise, it was nonsensical and they did not follow through on what they were setting up. So it was very disappointing. And there wasn't very much Minecrafting in the Minecrafting movie. And also the villain, they had a really weird villain that's not really wasn't that's not even in the game that they just made up for the movie. It was yeah, no, it was not good. Which I because like what I really hate the most in movies is wasted potential. Like seeing where a story could have gone, but they just didn't do it. They chose not to, or they couldn't do it, or couldn't do it right. I do not like that in modern day movies. Electric State, also a bad movie. Um, loves this. An over robot teen hits the road with a mysterious robot to find her long lost brother, teaming up with a smuggler and his wisecracking sidekick. Yeah, this is not appealing at all. Well, was a premise that there's like humans and robots, and the robots tried to exterminate the humans, but the humans fought back, and so but they didn't exterminate the robots. They sort of just gave them territory so they can where they can live, but it's the humans are the bad guys because they fought back from a genocide when they were being genocided. It's that kind of story. And these poor defenseless robots that just want to kill all humans have to suffer in these areas where designated areas meant for them where they didn't have to be given, but the humans are the bad ones. Captain America Brave New World. Oh yeah. Talk about a horrific misstep. Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, finds himself in the middle of an international incident and must discover the motive behind a nefarious global plan. And also, this is also the one with several different storylines that, or not storylines, several different stories trying to be told at the same time, like a Three Stooges type of trying to cram all these stories into one thing, and then they kind of all just the movie is very disjointed and all over the place, and things happen just cuz, and there's no rhyme or reason, and it was just very bad. Mortal Kombat 2. 2? Hold on. Fan favorite of champions, now joined by Johnny Cage himself, pitted against one another ultimate battle for defeat. There's a Mortal Kombat 2. I know there's a Mortal Kombat 1. Like a redo of. No, that's come out in 2026. Wait, why is this on here? Expected May 2026, but it's already one of the worst movies of 2025? Okay. That's I think a new type of bad where it's like even before the movie it's a terrible movie even before it comes out. Okay, that's a new one. Mickey 17. Yeah, I heard about this one. This was also a this is a science fiction premise, like a short story sort of sci-fi premise that doesn't really translate to so well to movies. Like this is more like a short story kind of thing. Cleaner. Oh yeah, the what's her face? The Ray Skywalker is doing a Die Hard Criminal activists hijack a gala taking 300 hostages. One extremist plans mass murder as a message to the world. An ex-soldier turned window cleaner now works to rescue the hostages. And hilarity ensues. Unintentional hilarity, I should say. G20. Speaking of unintentional hilarity, terrorists take over the G20 summit with President Sutton bringing her government and military experience to defend her family, company, and the world. Yeah. And, yeah, I shouldn't say anymore. Star Trek Section 31. Oh, so, why? This is a why movie. Why did you do this? Why did you think this would be a good idea to do? In Star Trek Section 31, Emperor Philippa Georgia joins a secret division of Starfleet tasked with protecting the United States Federation planets and must face the sins of our past. Yeah, this is a everything was wrong from the very beginning kind of movie. Why do they always ignore the lore? Like, you really shouldn't do that, especially for a very long-running TV series. Because, like, none of this is like part of the new Trek thing, where they ignore everything that's come to the past and then redo it and pretend they did it. Yeah, ballerina, number 7, ballerina, an assassin trained in the traditions of Raska Roma organization, such as the secret revenge of the feathers. Well, yeah, in the what's it, the shooty guy, what's his, Keanu Reeves shooty guy, what's his name? He does the shooting and he kills people because they killed his dog. What was his name? I'm blanking on his name right now. That's what this is supposed to be in that universe. That, I guess, is the highly popular John Wick. That's it. That's the name, John Wick. Who cares about the John Wick universe? Like, you're just watching a John Wick movie to see John Wick kill people. Who cares about the universe? Like, it's all just invented to it's all like an excuse kind of universe where everything is meant to it's set up to so that you can have action scenes where you don't need to apply logic, like where are the police and things like that in this universe. That's kind of how it's set up. So I don't think I don't know why they thought anyone would care about that. But there you go. Speaking of a universe nobody cares about, Avatar: Fire and Ash. Well, I suppose it's not so true. I suppose people care about it, but I think the creator doesn't seem to care about it, or at least he's not interested in like exploring it any further than what he wants for his. Like, he wants to. This looks like he wants to just. James Cameron wants to stay with the ocean stuff. Doesn't really care about this other universe that he created. What other people could do with that universe. But yeah, this was a very bad movie. Horrendous misstep. Story-wise. There, I know in Jurassic World Rebirth, another why did you do that movie? Why did you make this? Why did you think this would be a good idea to do? I know you wanted to like try to extract more money from the franchise, but you could have put more effort into it. That Rebirth, that was just like probably it was a very lazy movie. Like, the story was incredibly lazy, the effects were lazy, the directing was lazy. It was just like a color by numbers kind of thing. There was no point to making it, and it was very bad. So there you go. Number 4, Thunderbolts. Also very bad. I didn't see it. I haven't seen a lot of the Marvel stuff ever after Endgame. I just had no interest in any of it. And this too, like all of these were like that B or C list. Not even heroes. They're still supposed to be villains, but they're like, what? Not even the main characters of the movies they were in, but somehow they thought people would be super interested in watching them. They all look the same. Just note. Well, I didn't just notice that, but just like look, they're no, stop, no, copyright, stop. Show me the picture. Like, look, they're all the same. Like, they're all very dark. The costumes are very dark and pocketed, and like this. There's seems a little bit of color with this guy, but I mean, there's what else is just. There's nothing interesting about the costumes. I wonder her like she. This is supposed to be like the White Widow, right? So shouldn't she be wearing white? I don't know. Where were we? How to Train. Go away, commercials. How to Train Your Dragon. Millie, was that bad? So I heard it was just like a straight shot-for-shot remake of the animated version. And the animated version was pretty good. Oh, again, Disney does not have a very good track record. Very good track record with with their live action remakes. Or I should say, it's like a coin toss kind of thing. It's hit and miss. Number 2, Fantastic Four. Again, I didn't see it because I really had no interest. But like the trailers look very bad, and it had very bad word of mouth. Yeah, it's too bad. So, I like the Fantastic Four well enough. But I don't know, I think they made just way too many changes for no reason. And story-wise, it was, again, like a convoluted kind of... Well, how do I say convoluted? Well, it's things happen because they need them to happen kind of movie. And of course, the number 1, the most anticipated film, Snow White. And yeah, I don't know, who cares about Snow White? I think was probably the main problem with the movie. Like, I know it was a big thing way back, like the cartoon was a big thing way back in the day. But remember, this was it was a very innovative kind of film. Like it was what do you call it? Like it was like a very technological. What do I say? I'm gonna say. It was a new kind of thing, like, and they were doing new kind of animation and all that. It was a pioneering film. But uh, like after that, like who really cared about the story of Snow White? Like you can't. They didn't really even pioneer anything with this one either. Like they all just made everything CG, and it's and also like changed things for no reason, and they also did all that and added things for no reason and padded out the runtime 2 hours. Like what kind of like if you've seen the original, what was the original one? It was like what, an hour. So what they really had to pan out this one for some reason. But yeah, here you go. Number 1 worst movie, 2025, Snow White. Not even with the 7 dwarfs, just Snow White. Princess joins forces with 7 dwarfs and a group of rebels to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother and evil queen. Oh. Didn't she like die or something? Like in the original movie, she like died but then got resurrected. And then just sort of rode off with the prince to like his kingdom. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the worst of the day, and I think that's where we will leave for today. Yep. All right. Well. What do you think? So what there, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm ending the show. That's what I'm doing. All right. So yes, thank you all for joining me tonight. If you enjoyed my commentary, please give it a like and maybe subscribe. If you want, that'd be nice. That would help me a lot. I'd appreciate it. So yeah, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you all for joining me. So we'll do this again next week. I'll try to keep a more consistent time. So yes, thank you all and have a good night.